government. So National Critical Mineral Mission has been approved by the Union government in order to build a resilient value chain for the critical mineral resources. Now, what exactly these critical minerals are? The critical minerals क्या है? So basically, these critical minerals are those minerals which are having a very high economic importance, but they face some risk in their अवेलेबिलिटी राइट तो कुछ रिस्क हम फेस करते हैं उनकी अवेलेबिलिटी के अंदर ड्यू टू द लिमिटेड अवेलेबिलिटी देर आर लॉट ऑफ सप्लाई रिस्क एंड दैट इज व्हाई दीज आर कॉल्ड क्रिटिकल ओके so I hope this point is clear to all of you. Now, these critical minerals are those minerals which are vital to the green technologies. For example, lithium, cobalt, nickel. So these are used in the batteries, right? And the battery storage devices. So that is why these are called critical minerals. And as a part of the National Critical Mineral Mission, we will be focusing solely on such kind of critical minerals. Okay. So now when we talk about this particular mission, Government of India has given total 34,300 crore for this particular mission, right? So this mission will be under the Ministry of Mines and the total outlay will be there of 34,300 crore rupees. Under this part, the government will be having rupees 16,300 crore as a part of this particular mission and 18,000 crore is being expected by the public sector units. Okay, so 18,000 crore has been expected from the PSUs that they will be investing in this particular sector. So total outlay will be 34,300 crore rupees. And the tenure of this particular scheme will be the period of 7 years. Okay. So now when we talk about the National Critical Mineral Mission. So with this part, guys, what we want to do, we want long-term security in the supply of these critical minerals. And that is why we will be requiring a collaborative approach in which we will be collaborating from the different stakeholders for this particular mission, including the relevant ministries, public sector undertakings, private sector companies, and the research institutions. So all of them will be the part of this particular thing. Okay. So this scheme will be implemented by using these with the collaborative effort of relevant ministries, public sector undertakings, private sector companies, and the research institutions. Now, when we talk about the scope and objectives of this particular mission, this will focus entirely on the entire value chain of critical minerals. So guys, ये जो पूरी entire value chain है critical minerals की, starting from the first process to the last, that will be covered as a part of this particular mission. For example, the first step for this national critical mineral mission, किसी भी minerals की exploration और माइनिंग और ये पूरी जो साइकिल है इसके अंदर जो पहला स्टेप है वो होता है आपका मिनरल एक्सप्लोरेशन का. So what government will be doing? It will be focusing on expanding the exploration efforts within India and its offshore area so that we can explore first of all these minerals that where exactly they are located. And then we will be moving to the second step, that is mining and processing. So in order to achieve that, we will be enhancing the mining, beneficiation and processing of the critical minerals. Under the National Critical Mineral Mission, we will be working on enhancing mining and processing of the critical minerals. Okay. Now the third part is of the regulatory reforms. So guys, we have seen that earlier what used to happen is as these are the critical minerals, they are not easily available. So they were having very difficult regulatory processes. But in order to make and to boost this particular sector, it is very important for us to loose down these regulatory reforms. That's why what we will be doing so that there will be speedy process. All the processes being executed in a speedily manner. We will be introducing a fast-track regulatory approval process for the critical mineral mining projects. After that, we all know that as these particular minerals are having a very high economic importance, that's why these different stakeholders also require some financial incentives. So they will be offered financial support by the government for critical mineral exploration. Now the next point is the sustainable recovery. So we will be promoting the recovery of critical minerals from overburden and tailing. So यहाँ पर हम overburden नहीं होने देंगे. We want that एक sustainable recovery भी हो so that कि we can keep on mining, right? So sustainable recovery is also very important for this aspect. So these are the scope and objectives of the National Critical Mineral Mission. I hope this point is clear to all of you. And let me tell you, my dear friend, that Government of India has also announced in the budget 2025, that is 2024-2025 budget, as they decided to eliminate the custom duties on the majority of the critical minerals. I have already told you the examples of the critical minerals. For example, the lithium, cobalt, graphite, etc. So these are the different critical minerals which we basically seek for the different technologies. And we are talking about the clean technologies in which we talk about the solar panels as well. Solar panel के लिए भी जो आपकी बैटरी यूज होती है वहां पर we need such kind of critical minerals. Now, apart from that, as we have already discussed, that Government of India is also expecting the investments of around 18,000 crore rupees from the PSUs. So for that, they are encouraging the PSUs that you should not just acquire the critical mineral assets in India, but also abroad, so that we can ensure the long-term security of supply of these critical minerals. And in order to acquire critical mineral assets abroad, what we are required to do? We are required to partner with the resource-rich countries where these minerals are there. And you can see here that we have such one of the such pacts with the Argentina. Okay. Now, after that, it is very important when we are want to boost some sector, guys. It is very important for us to establish the related infrastructure to that particular sector. For example, for the mineral processing, we must have mineral processing parks. Apart from that, we must be having a good research, advanced research in terms of mineral processing so that we can make it more efficient. As we are really having the target of becoming net zero carbon emission free country by 2070. So this mission is going to help the country in achieving that particular target. Okay. Now we will also be promoting recycling of critical minerals to ensure sustainability. We will be encouraging research and innovation in the critical mineral technologies. We will be setting up a center of excellence on the critical minerals for advanced research and the development. तो एक center of excellence भी होगा ताकि advanced research और development की activities हो सके for this particular mission. ठीक है? I hope this is clear to all of you, right? तो अभी तक का सारा पार्ट आप सभी को क्लियर है related to this particular National Critical Mineral Mission. Okay, now let's move on to the next news article, that is WhatsApp version of SBM Academy. So guys, recently the Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation under the Ministry of Jal Shakti has convened a meeting to review the findings of Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin. तो हमारी स्वच्छ सर्वेक्षण ग्रामीण जो था 2024 एडिशन, उसके जो भी फाइंडिंग्स थी उसको रिव्यू किया गया ड्यूरिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर मीटिंग. एंड द मेजर हाईलाइट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर मीटिंग वाज the launch of WhatsApp version of the Swachh Bharat Mission Academy. So let me tell you that Swachh Bharat Mission Academy was launched in year 2020, but now the WhatsApp version of this academy has been launched. When we talk about this academy, as a part of this WhatsApp version, it is going to bring out an innovative step to enhance the accessibility and engagement with the training content. What exactly happens there is, in order to make India open defecation free, and in order to plan out the activities of the Swachh Grahis, which works for the Swachh Bharat mission, basically there is some training which has been provided to these people. And for that training, we have launched some courses. And these courses are being through the Swachh Bharat Mission Academy. But now WhatsApp version has been launched for this particular part. Now the revamped Swachh Bharat Mission Academy courses, they will be incorporating interactive elements, and they will be making the learning process for these Swachh Grahis more practical, dynamic, and widely available. Okay. Currently, this particular platform is available in Hindi and English language. Now, when we talk about the Swachh Bharat Mission Academy, guys, it was launched in year 2020 और एक mobile based online learning course है on the open defecation plus for the Swachh Grahis and other grassroots workers. Now, guys, you must be having the question of the Swachh Bharat Mission, that what exactly the Swachh Bharat Mission is. Let me tell you that Swachh Bharat Mission is one of the flagship schemes of the Government of India, which was launched on 2nd of October 2014, right? And the major objective of coming up with this scheme was to eliminate open defecation and improve solid waste management in our country. Now, this scheme was being implemented in the two different components, that is one for the rural areas, other one for the urban areas. Now, when we talk about the rural areas, so it has been under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And for the for the urban areas, we are having the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. For the rural areas, we are having the Ministry of Jal Shakti. And it is the Ministry of Jal Shakti which has come up with this particular which has convened this meeting to review the findings of Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin. So I hope that this information is very much clear to all of you, right? Till now, everything is clear. If yes, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box that yes, everything is going fine with all of you. Okay. So guys, I'm waiting for your responses. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Okay. So now guys, let's move ahead to the next news article. That is major infrastructure boost for Maharashtra. So Minister of Rural Development has announced the major infrastructure boost for the Indian state of Maharashtra. And this will be done under the Pradhan Mantri Janjati Adivasi Nyay Maha Abhiyan. Okay, so now you must be thinking that what exactly this Pradhan Mantri Janjati Adivasi Nyay Maha Abhiyan. So let me tell you that this scheme was launched in the November 2023 to ensure holistic development of particularly vulnerable tribal groups, which under which the scheme focused on the different areas, that is education, health, livelihood, basic infrastructure. Now, my dear friends, let me tell you that as a part of this major infrastructure boost for the Maharashtra, they will be providing all with the rural connectivity roads and accelerate economic growth. And how this will be done? By sanctioning 27 roads and which measures 50.13 kilometer of the roads. Let me tell you from the exam point of view, the number of roads and this length is not at all that much important. But what is important? That is the PVTGs of the Maharashtra will be getting the benefit of this particular step, right? As it will be focusing on improving socio-economic condition of the particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Now you must be thinking that what exactly these PVTGs are. See guys, we all know that tribal communities are often identified by some specific signs. For example, about their primitive traits, distinctive culture, geographical isolation, right? And apart from that, they do not contact with the community at large and they are really backward in the nature. Along with these, there are some tribal groups which have some specific features. For example, they are still dependent on hunting. They are dependent on gathering food from the forests. They are having pre-agricultural level of technologies. So these groups, which are really highly vulnerable, these are being categorized as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Now, as we have discussed that Maharashtra state will be getting the benefit under this particular step. So we are required to cover that what are the different PVTGs which are there in the Indian state of Maharashtra. So this includes three PVTGs, that is Katkaria, Kolam and Maria Gond, which are the three PVTGs in the Indian state of Maharashtra. Okay. Now, the next part is that it is very important for us to cover some static portion about the PVTGs also because it can also be asked in the exam. So PVTGs are a subcategory of the scheduled tribes in India which are identified as being more vulnerable than other tribal communities. तो ये ज़्यादा vulnerable हैं as compared to other tribal communities as they face severe socio-economic backwardness, low literacy, declining or stagnant population. So let me tell you that in India, there is some specific criteria which has been used for identification of the PVTGs. Now, what exactly this criteria is? The first thing is the pre-agricultural level of technology, that they are still using the pre-agricultural level of technologies for their agriculture produces. Then the low level of literacy, they are they are not literate as they are not sharing and having so much of the contact with the other communities. Then economic backwardness is there due to this part, and then their population is also a very important aspect here as their population is not increasing but it is stagnant or it is declining. So these are the four criteria. If there is a group which basically follows and which basically pertains to these four criteria, then they are being identified as PVTGs in our country. Now the question arises that how many PVTGs are there in our country? That is total 75 particularly vulnerable tribal groups are there in our country. Okay. Now if I ask you that which state is having the maximum number of PVTGs groups in our country, then that is Odisha, which is having total 13 PVTGs in our country. Okay. So Odisha is having 13 PVTGs in our country. That is having the maximum number of PVTGs in our country. Okay. I hope this is clear to all of you. So please try to remember here that Maharashtra has got this infrastructure boost from the Minister of Rural Development. And there are three PPTGs in the Indian state of Maharashtra, that is Katkaria, Kolam and Mariago. ठीक है, ये याद रखिए अच्छे से. अब हम बढ़ते हैं अगले न्यूज आर्टिकल की तरफ, दैट इज ऑन AgriHub. So AgriHub एक AI driven center of excellence है guys. We all know that right now in this era we are having different emerging technologies which includes artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning, and these technologies collectively are basically boosting all the sectors. But for India, agriculture sector is also a very important sector. So why don't we revolutionize the Indian agriculture sector through these technologies? So to achieve this part, a center of excellence with the name of AgriHub has been recently launched, and this AgriHub has been launched by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology along with the IIT Indore. Okay, and this AgriHub will be serving as a collaborative platform to empower farmers, researchers in order to come up with the innovative agri-tech solutions. So guys, with the help of these technologies, we will be coming up with the innovative agri-tech solutions, and we will be empowering the farmers, researchers, and the breeders in our nation. Okay. So over the period of 5 years, the AgriHub is going to establish itself as a self-sustaining ecosystem, and it will ensure the long-term financial and operational sustainability in the Indian agriculture system. That's why the people who are preparing for the NABARD Grade A officer examination, guys, please make sure that you are noting down this particular point of AgriHub, which is the AI-driven Center of Excellence, which has been recently launched by IIT Indore along with the MeitY, that is Minister of Electronics and Information Technology. Now let's move on to next news article. So next news article is about Uttarakhand becoming the first state to implement the Uniform Civil Code. So the Uniform Civil Code क्या है? As the name suggests, Uniform Civil Code is something which brings uniformity in the personal civil matters. And Uttarakhand has become the first state in our country to implement the Uniform Civil Code. Okay, let me tell you that Goa is also the state which is implementing the Uniform Civil Code, but it is of the pre-independent era of India, pre-independence era of India. And post-independence of India, Uttarakhand has become the first state to implement the Uniform Civil Code. Okay. Now, who will be applicable as a part of this particular Uniform Civil Code? So it will be applied to all the residents of Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand के जो भी लोग हैं, the residents of Uttarakhand, they will be applicable. The code will be applicable to those people. Apart from that, the people who are from Uttarakhand but they are residing outside the state, so they will also be eligible under the Uniform Civil Code. Apart from that, there are some scheduled tribes which have been excluded along with the certain protected communities which have been kept outside the umbrella of the Uniform Civil Code. Now, guys, it is very important for us to understand the features, the key features of the Uttarakhand Uniform Civil Code Act 2024. So basically, the state is ready with all the acts, rules, and regulations, and it has started implementing this from 27th of January 2025. As I told you that this is going to make the code, make the laws uniform for the people. So the first thing is streamlining personal laws. तो ये सबसे पहला काम क्या करेगा? ये पर्सनल लॉस को स्ट्रीमलाइन करेगा. इट इज गोइंग टू स्टैंडर्डाइज लॉस रिलेटेड टू मैरिजेस, डाइवोर्स, सक्सेशन एंड इनहेरिटेंस. तो जितने भी हमारे पर्सनल सिविल मैटर्स होते हैं उनको स्ट्रीमलाइन किया जाएगा विद द हेल्प ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड. And it will also include the marriage regulations. So marriages can only be solemnized. So what exactly this statement means? That means considering them legally, considering them legal, considering these marriages legal, and what exactly was the process which was being used during in that particular marriage. So basically, they will be solemnized on the basis of that. That means they will be considered legal, and it will be done only when both the parties, that is both the individuals who have got married, they are mentally competent and they are also fulfilling the minimum eligible age criteria for the marriages. For example, for the men it is 21 years and for the women it is 18 years. Now, marriage registration has also been made mandatory for all the marriages which are occurring after the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code. So that means the people who are of Uttarakhand or who are living in the Uttarakhand, it is now mandatory for them to get their marriages registered. Okay, within a 60-day deadline for the registration. Now, the next part is recognition of the past marriages, the marriages which have been taken place before the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code of Uttarakhand. So they will be also solemnized before March 26, 2010 और outside the Uttarakhand. तो जो marriages 2010 से पहले हुई हैं या फिर उत्तराखंड के बाहर हुई हैं उनको भी यहाँ पर हम solemnize करेंगे. Apart from that, one important point is that I already told you that Goa is a state which is already following the Uniform Civil Code, but it is following the Portuguese Civil Code of 1867. Okay, that is why we are not considering it. And in the post-independence era of India, Uttarakhand has become the first state in order to implement the Civil Code, Uniform Civil Code. And let me tell you that other states are also key and they have shown keen interest in implementing the Uniform Civil Code, but right now they have not implemented it. So we have just required to remember the name of Uttarakhand. Now moving to the next news article, that is first Northeast state to sign MOU with Bhashini. Okay? So guys, let me tell you that first of all we need to understand that what is this Bhashini. So Bhashini is a revolutionary initiative under the Digital India program. I already covered this topic in a detailed manner when we covered the news article where we have covered that Bhashini has been integrated with the eShram portal, right? So it is a revolutionary initiative under the Digital India program, and this has been launched by the government of India to ensure seamless communication and accessibility of the internet facility to all citizens in 22 Indian languages. So, guys, if you are someone who is not well versed in Hindi or English language, right? But you are well versed in your local language, which is also Indian scheduled Indian language. So if all the platforms will be provided to you in that particular language, you will be able to participate, right? Otherwise you will be facing linguistic barrier. So in order to avoid that linguistic barrier, the Bhashini portal was been launched, the Bhashini platform was been launched. So now this with this particular platform, Tripura government has signed an MOU, and with this it has become the first Northeast state to sign MOU with the Bhashini for multilingual governance. Now, when we talk about this particular part, this MOU has been signed between the Digital India Bhashini division of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and the government of Tripura. And this is going to increase the usage of rich regional languages of Tripura and to facilitate citizens' digital participation by using these languages in the governance. I hope this point is clear to all of you, right? Now, one more important part is that right now, it is the first Northeast state to sign MOU with Bhashini, but overall across India, it has become the eighth state to sign an MOU with the Bhashini. So, guys, if this point is clear to all of you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box that till now all these news articles are very much clear with all of you. So, everything is going fine right now. Okay. So, you are done with this Bhashini part. Now, let's move on to the next news article, that is Best Tableau Award in the Republic Day Parade of 2025. So, Ministry of Tribal Affairs has been awarded the Best W from Central Ministries Departments at the 76th Republic Day Parade 2025. As we all know that every year we see this Best W award, which has been given to the ministries which have basically shown the best W during the Republic Day Parade. And this year, Ministry of Tribal Affairs has been awarded this Best W. And it has been awarded for its inspiring and culturally rich tableau, which is based on Janjatiya Gaurav Varsh. And with this tableau, the ministry has commemorated 150th birth anniversary year of Bhagwan Birsa Munda ji, and this was being launched with the theme of Jal Jangal Jameen. As you can see, as a part of this particular tableau, right? So they are basically focusing on the Janjatiya Gaurav Varsh, and Ministry of Tribal Affairs is the one which has won this particular Best Tableau Award this year. Moving to the next news article. So, National Conference on Good Governance. So, National Conference on Good Governance will be taking place in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, and it has been organized by the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances in collaboration with Government of Gujarat. So, guys, we all know that Government of India is presently working on minimum government and maximum governance. So that is why such kind of good governance conferences are really required to boost the governance of the Indian government. Okay. Now, my dear friends, let me tell you that this particular conference has been taking place from 30th to 31st of January 2025. And with this news article, one more thing I am trying to remember here, that is the Good Governance Day. So we all know that we have celebrated the Good Governance Day in year 2024, right? And on which date we celebrated the Good Governance Day? It was 24th, sorry, it was 25th of December. On 25th of December, we celebrate Good Governance Day every year. Now, moving ahead, that is the ISRO's 100th launch. So, this Indian Space Research Organization has achieved a historic milestone as it has basically launched 100th project from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. We have recently covered that Government of India has approved the third launch pad in Sriharikota, right? So, with this particular launch of the NVS-02 satellite, which is a part of the Navy constellation, ISRO has created history with the 100th launch from Sriharikota. When we talk about the Indian Space Research Organization, it was established in 1969. And let me tell you that when it was established, after 2 decades, that is around 20 years of the establishment of ISRO, we were able to set up our first launch pad in 1993. And now in 2025, Government of India has approved the creation of the third launch pad. Now, guys, when you are covering this organization or any organization, it is very important for us to cover some static portion of this organization also. Now, what exactly it is? So, here, let me tell you that in the month of January 2025 only, a person has assumed the charge of the chairman of ISRO. And can anybody tell me what is the name of that person? So it is Dr. V. Narayanan who has taken over as the chairman of ISRO in the month of January 2025. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now let's move on to the next news article, that is World Neglected Tropical Diseases Day 2025. So this day is being celebrated every year on 30th of January. And when we talk about the neglected tropical diseases, ये वो diverse group है 21 plus conditions का which are widespread in the world's poorest regions. And why it is widespread? Because there the water safety, sanitation, and access to healthcare are not at all at adequate level. That is why it leads to such kind of tropical diseases. And why these are being called neglected? Because they were not being focused by any countries, right? But now we have started focusing on them. And this includes lymphatic filariasis, this includes dengue, chikungunya, and other 18 conditions which are basically the part of the neglected tropical diseases. I hope this is clear, guys. Let's move on to the next news article. That is Australia has been presented with ICC Women's Championship Trophy. तो ICC की Women's Championship Trophy ऑस्ट्रेलिया को प्रेजेंट की गई है and it was being taken over by Captain Eliza Healy, the captain of Australian cricket team. Okay, let me tell you that till now only three editions of the ICC Women's Championship Trophy has been taken place, that is for the 2014, 16, 17, 20. And let me tell you that all these trophies have been won by Australia only. Right? Earlier it was Meg Lanning, the former captain of Australian cricket team, and now it is Eliza Healy. So let me tell you that यहाँ पर क्या रहता है कि आपके 10 teams हैं, women team है, उनका आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ मैच होता है, right? They play match with each other, 3 match series they play with each other, and the team which basically finishes on the top with the highest wins and highest points, they basically won the ICC Women's Championship Trophy. And this is the third time Australian women's cricket team has been presented with this championship trophy. So I hope now this is clear to all of you guys, and now it's the time for the practice. So we always tell you that just covering these current affairs is not at all important. We are also required to make sure that we are solving the MCQs as well. And that is why we are having this particular MCQs for you to practice and to understand that whether you are able to retain and analyze all the important information or not. So the first statement, the first question here is on the National Critical Mineral Mission. So you are required to go through the statements, identify the statement which is correct here. So whenever we are reading, whenever we are attempting any question, first thing we have to identify the topic on which the question has been asked. Second thing, what is the demand of the question, whether it is asking you to identify correct statement or the incorrect statement. So the first statement here is the mission will aim to build a resilient value chain for critical mineral resources essential to the green technology is absolutely right. Second part is it will be applicable for 7 years. So here both the part of the statement are correct. So statement one is correct here. Second statement, the total outlay for the mission is 34,300 crore. That is absolutely right. But the entire amount funded by government, no. Public sector units will also be giving the amount of up to 18,000 crore rupees. That's why the statement is incorrect. Third statement, one of the key focus areas includes regulatory reforms for fast-track approvals for critical mineral mining projects. That is absolutely right. So right answer will be option C. That is 1 and 3 only are correct here with respect to National Critical Mineral Mission. Moving to the next question. The question is on the Minister of Rural Development announcing major infrastructure boost for Maharashtra. And here you can see the question that which of the following is are among the criteria used for identifying PBTGs in India. I told you that there are total 4 criteria that we are using. First thing is the pre-agricultural level of technology, then low level of literacy, economic backwardness, declining or stagnant population. So all of them are the criteria. So what will be the right answer? Option E, that is all of the above will be the right answer to this question. I hope everybody of you will be able to answer these questions, right? Now let's move on to the next question. So the next question is on the Uniform Civil Code. You have to tell me the Indian state which has become the first to implement the Uniform Civil Code. So what is the name of the state? The name of the state is Uttarakhand. Option D is the right answer. And my dear friend, this was really a very easy question. And now, if you're someone who is still not able to answer any question, do not worry. I'm having a homework question for all of you. And the homework question is basically on the AgriHub, a center of excellence, which has recently been launched to promote sustainable agriculture. You have to go through these statements and identify the statement which is incorrect here. So please make sure that you are giving me the right answers in the comment section. Do not worry. Take the reference of the topic, go back to the session and try to see the details, and then you can tell me the right answer in the comment section. Now, when we talk about this particular part, when you will be answering the homework question, you will also become the star performer of the today's session. If I ask you about the homework question from the previous session, then the question was on the ASR report, as in the last session we covered the ASR report, and the right answer was to this question is option A, that is 1, 2, and 4 are correct, right? So option A was the right answer to this particular question, and these are the star performers of the previous session, which includes Guru Raj, Shruti, Dream Master, Anuj Behra, and Sunil Kumar. So these are basically our 5 star performers of the previous session. So well done, my dear friends. You have really done a great job, and keep on answering the right questions. Keep on answering the questions correctly in the comment section in these sessions as well. Okay. So guys, if you are still new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos. Or if you want to access the Telegram, if you want to access the PDF of the session, do not forget to join our Telegram channel, the link to which has been given in the description of this session. With joining this Telegram channel, you will be able to access the PDF of the sessions. Okay. So that was all from the today's session, my dear friends. I know that there was some technical glitch due to which the screen sharing option was not working properly, but I hope that after that we have completed this particular session. And it is a request for all of you that please make sure that if you have missed the session, then please again revise the important topics, because in this session we have covered really very important part, like National Critical Mineral Mission is very important from the exam point of view. AgriHub is important for NABARD Grade A officer examination, right? So we have tried to cover all the important aspects in this particular session. So now, if you're having any queries, feel free to ask your queries in the chat box. Otherwise, you can also share your queries at hello@edutap.co.in, or you can call us at 8146207241. So my dear friends, that was all from the today's session. I hope that today's session was really useful and fruitful to all of you. Now I will be meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.